Hello students, welcome back. This is Bittu Sharma, your physics mentor. So students, it is the second session of your crash course, you can say physics session of your crash course, and in this session we are going to discuss the chapter motion in 1 and 2 dimensions. In the last session, students, we had discussed unit dimension and measurement, and we solved questions also based on the concepts. Today, now in this session, motion in 1 dimension, we will finish. We have 1 hour of time, and because you know that your exam is very near and we have very less time interval, in 1 hour we have to finish this 1 as well as 2 dimension. So instead of going in depth, we will depth derivation and definition, we will just see the formulas, we will brush up all the concepts, and then we will solve numericals which are in trend and nowadays which they are asking in your JEE mains exam. Okay, so without wasting any time, students, I will start the session. So first of all, in motion in 1 dimension, you have to understand what is distance and what is displacement. Now, what is distance and displacement? Here I am not going to give you the definition because all you know what is distance. Distance is the actual length of path, and what is displacement? Displacement is the shortest path. Yes or no? Shortest path between the initial, shortest distance, you can say, between the initial and the final point. Okay, both the unit of both distance as well as displacement is meter. Getting or not? But the distance is a scalar quantity. So what you have to remember? Distance is a scalar quantity and displacement is vector quantity. I hope you are getting this. Distance is what? It's a scalar quantity, and displacement is what? It's a vector quantity. Getting or not? Suppose, students, we have 2 points. Getting or not? This is initial and this is final point. Now we have 2 paths by which we can move from initial to the final point. Getting? Finals, let us say path number 1 and path number 2 is little bit more curvy. So this is path number 1 and this is path number 2. Getting? So if I ask you what is distance, so distance of path 1 as well as path 2 will be different. Getting or not? Because distance is the actual length of the path. Getting or not? But what will be displacement? Displacement, you can say, will be the shortest distance between initial and the final position. So this distance will be, this length will be the displacement. Getting? So displacement is a vector quantity. Remember this thing. What I want to tell you here is let's suppose here we have two you can say we have 2 position vectors. This is initial position vector, let us say A, and this we have B, point B. Now point coordinates of point A is x1 comma y1 comma z1, and coordinates of point B is how much? x2 comma y2 comma z2. So these are the coordinates of point A and B. Now students, if you calculate the length vector AB, so vector AB will what? Vector AB will start from point A and towards point B. So this will be vector AB, and its value will be what? It will be x2 minus x1 I cap plus y2 minus y1 j cap plus z2 minus z1 k cap. So this will be the vector AB. I hope you are getting this, students. Yes or no? Based on this, I have one question for you. What? It's only a normal question. Don't think that these types of question they will ask in IIT. Getting? But it's a question by which you can calculate. You will get to know how we can calculate the displacement. And with this question, I am going to give you a short trick as well. So what they are saying? A wheel of radius r is rolling on the road. So let us say this is a road, and here we have a wheel of radius r. Okay, we have a wheel of radius r. Okay, sorry, it's deleted. So we have a wheel of radius r. Okay, now what is the displacement of a point P in half rotation of wheel on the road? So let us say, students, this point is P, and after half of the rotation, what will be displacement of point P? What will be displacement of point P? So you can see here that after half of the rotation, this point P will reach here. After half of rotation, what? Point P will reach here, and what will be this distance? Students, if the wheel is completing its if the wheel is just completing the entire one rotation, then the distance covered by the wheel will be equal to the circumference of the wheel. Yes or no? But here it is half of the rotation, so circumference will also be half, it will be pi r, and this distance we know that it will be 2r. Now they are asking what is displacement of point P. So the displacement of point P will be this. I hope you are getting. Displacement of point P will be this, and what will be this displacement? By Pythagoras theorem, now you can easily calculate this. Under root of pi r whole square plus 2r whole square. Getting or not? So this will be the displacement of point P, and this will be our correct answer. Okay. Now what I wanted to tell you, students, is let us say a person is moving along a circular path. A person is moving along a circular path. Getting or not? Along the circular path, and the radius of the circular path is r. Person is started from point P. After completing 1/4 of the rotation, after 1/4 of the circle, yes or no? When point P will be here, so what will be the displacement of point? What will be displacement of person? You can say, sir, displacement of person will be this. Getting or not? This is r, this is r, so easily you can calculate, it will be root 2r. After completing half of the circle, it will be how much? I will draw the circle. After completing half of the circle, students, it will be how much? It will be 2r. Getting or not? After half of the circle, it will be 2r. But suppose, student, but think if it is neither a half circle nor 1/4 circle. Suppose at any particular instant, if you want to calculate the displacement, suppose point P, a person P started from here, and finally it is reaching at point F, final position, let us say F. So what is displacement of the person? So displacement of the person, you can say it is Fp. And how you can calculate this Fp? Fp you can calculate by formula directly, 2r sine theta by 2, where theta is this angle. Theta is the angle. Getting or not? So this is the short trick which I wanted to give you in concept of displacement. Remember this. So if the suppose here we are getting, for half of the rotation we are getting displacement is 2r. Getting or not? We'll check how it is 2r. Students, what is theta in this case? In this case theta is 180 degree. Getting or not? So if you substitute here 180 by 2 will be 90, and sine 90 is how much? Sine 90 is 1. So that's why Fp will be how much? It will be 2r. I hope you are getting this, students. The next is speed and velocity. Again, I am not going to tell you what is speed, what is velocity. Getting directly, I'll write the formula. Speed is what? Speed is distance by time. Okay. And velocity is what? Velocity is what? Displacement by time. Getting or not? So speed is a scalar quantity and velocity is a vector quantity. I hope you are getting this, students. Speed and velocity, this you have to understand. The distance covered in 1 unit of time is called as a speed, or the displacement covered in 1 unit of time is called as its velocity. Getting or not? Unit will be same, meter per second. Unit will be what? Meter per second. Now the questions which we will get in our questions is based on average and instantaneous speed and velocity. So what is average speed, students? First I will tell you the formula and then I will tell you short trick. What is average speed? Average speed is nothing but the total distance. Average speed is what? The total distance divided by total time. Getting or not? Total distance divided by total time. In the same way, average velocity. Average velocity will be what? It will be total displacement divided by total time. Getting? So average speed and average velocity, the formula is total distance by total time and total displacement by total time. Suppose we have to calculate instantaneous velocity. Instantaneous velocity, if we have to calculate instantaneous velocity, so how we can calculate instantaneous? Instantaneous velocity means, students, velocity at a particular instant of time. So instantaneous velocity will be equal to, it will be limit delta t tends to 0 delta r vector divided by delta t. Now what is r here? R is the displacement. Getting or not? Velocity is a vector quantity, so I will write delta r vector divided by delta t. This you can write as because when limit delta t tends to 0, this you can write as dr by dt. Differentiation of displacement directly will get velocity. Okay. In the same way, instantaneous speed. What will be instantaneous speed, students? Instantaneous speed will be limit delta t tends to 0, delta s divided by delta t. Yes or no? Delta s is what? It is the distance by time. Okay. So when limit delta t tends to 0, this you can write as ds by dt. I hope you are getting this. This is the concept of average velocity and instantaneous velocity, average speed and instantaneous speed. Okay, students. With that, I have a question for you. A man covers half distance with speed v and remaining half with speed v1 and v2 for equal interval of time. Find his average speed. So before this question, students, I will tell you one short trick. What is that short trick? Suppose a person covers some distance s with speed v1 in time t1. Getting or not? A person covers some distance s with speed v1 in time t1, and again further the same distance s with speed v2 in time t2. Okay, so this point A, point B, point C. Okay, so here you can see the distance is same. If I ask you what is average speed, so in this case, students, remember this thing. We can easily calculate it by total distance by total time. Total distance is s plus s2s. Total time will be t1 plus t2. Getting or not? We can easily calculate it, but I will tell you the short trick directly. What? Whenever the distance is same, so the average speed will be 2v1 v2 divided by v1 plus v2. Whenever distance is same, average speed will be what? 2v1 v2 divided by v1 plus v2. We can use this formula when we have a same distance, when the person covers same distance. Okay, in the same way, students, so this is you can say short trick or a direct result which will save a lot of time while solving numericals based on average speed and average velocity. Okay, so suppose if time is same, students, let us say suppose time is same, this distance is s1, this distance is s2. A man covers distance s1 with speed v1 in time interval t, and in the same time again it travels with speed v2 to cover a distance s2. So here time is same, so average speed, students, will be, how much will be average speed? Average speed will be how much? It will be v1 plus v2 divided by 2. This will be the average speed for this particular you can say particular concept. Getting or not? Whenever, so remember this thing, what? Whenever distance is same, average speed is 2v1 v2 by v1 plus v2, and whenever time is same, average speed is v1 plus v2 by 2. Okay. Suppose, students, if three distances are same, if the total distance is divided into three equal parts, so the formula will be what? 3v1 v2 v3 divided by v1 v2 plus v2 v3 plus v3 v1. I hope you are getting, but most of the time we will use this formula only. Getting? So what, students, these are, you can see, these are the direct result which we can use in our numericals. So this is very important numerical which we are going to solve. A man covers half distance with speed v and remaining half distance with the speed v1 and v2. Okay, let us say a person started from point A and half of the distance it is covered with speed b. With speed v. Okay, so let us say this distance is s. Okay, and if this is half distance, so remaining will be also the half distance. Let us say this is point you can say d here, because see, I am going to write one more point. This distance is also s. Now in question they are saying the second half distance, the man covers with speed v1 and v2 for equal interval of time. So the second half distance bd, it is covered in two stages but in equal interval of time. First with speed v1 and second with speed v2 in equal interval of time. This is also time interval t, Here also time interval is how much? T. So we have to calculate the average speed. What we have to calculate? Average speed in this numerical. Okay. So how we will solve this, students? If you are solving this question by conventional method, general method, that average speed is total distance by total time, believe me, it is going to consume more time and calculation will be lengthy. But if you solve this question with short tricks, the conclusion, the results which I gave you just before this slide, then it is going to be very easy. So first you consider motion BD. Yes or no? BD motion we are considering. So in BD you can see, students, from B to D, time is same. If time is same, so average velocity, average speed is what? Average speed in BD will be how much? Average speed in BD will be equal to V1 plus V2 divided by 2. I hope you are getting. Now we got average speed from B to D. Okay, so again if we will divide this what from A to B and then from B to D, how it will be? A, B and D. So how it will be? This velocity is V and this velocity is V1 plus V2 divided by 2, and the total distance is how much? S, and here also S. So total distance will be 2S. Now you can see this motion is divided into two equal distances. So whenever distance is equal, what will be the average speed? Average speed will be, students, what? 2 V1 V2 by V1 plus V2. So 2 V1 is what? V1 is V, and V2 is what? V1 plus V2 divided by 2. Divided by V1 plus V2. So V1 is again V plus V2 is V1 plus V2 divided by 2. So like this, if you solve this, students, you will get our answer. 2 and 2 will get cancelled. So here it will be the final answer if I write here after calculation. So final answer will be what? I am writing here. The final answer will be 2V into V1 plus V2 divided by it will be V plus V1 plus V2. 2V plus V1 plus V2. This will be the correct answer for this question. I hope you are getting this, students. Now the next thing is acceleration. What is acceleration? Rate of change of velocity. Getting or not? Acceleration what? Rate of change of velocity. D as dV by dt. dV by dt. So unit is what? Meter per second square, and again it's a vector quantity. Okay. So we'll not waste time in all these things, students. Again, average acceleration. What will be the value of average acceleration? Average acceleration will be how much? Average acceleration will be A is equal to dV by dt. A is equal to limit delta t tends to 0, delta V by delta t. Delta V by delta t. Getting or not? So this is instantaneous acceleration. Sorry, this is what? This is instantaneous acceleration. A is equal to limit delta t tends to 0, delta V by delta t, or directly you can write it as dV by dt. And what is average acceleration, students? Average acceleration will be what? Delta V by delta t, means total change in velocity with respect to time. So total change in velocity will be how much? V final minus V initial. V final minus V initial divided by delta t, means you can write as T final minus T initial, how much time it took. I hope you are getting this, students. So this all basics we know. One important thing which I am going to tell you now is what? So one formula of acceleration we know very well. What is acceleration? A is equal to dV by dt. So in the same way, this is okay, this is correct. But in this, students, if I will multiply dx by dx, if I multiply and divide by dx by dx, so what? This dx by dt will be what? This dx by dt will be, this dx by dt will be what? Dx by dt will be V into dV by dx. V into dV by dx. So this also we have one more important formula of acceleration in terms of x. Getting or not? So whenever we have acceleration in terms of time, we will use dV by dt. But if we have acceleration in terms of x, means distance or displacement, then we will use acceleration formula is V into dV by dx. Okay. So now I'm moving for this question. The question is, if acceleration a is equal to x square, where x is the displacement and velocity at x is equal to 2 meter, the velocity at x is equal to 2 meter is, they are asking. Okay, now acceleration how much is given to us? X square. Acceleration is x square. They are asking what is its velocity at x is equal to 2 meter. How we can calculate, students? So remember this thing, whenever acceleration is given to us, if velocity is given to us, just you differentiate velocity, we will get acceleration. So dv will be equal to a dt. If you integrate dv, what we will get? Integration of a dt. So from here, integration of dv, we will get what? Velocity. Okay, so you can write as velocity is equal to integration of acceleration with respect to time. But here acceleration is given to us in terms of x square. So what value of a we will write? We will write a is equal to v into dv by dx is equal to x square. Getting or not? Now v dv is equal to x square dx. If we will shift dx in this side and we will integrate it. If we integrate it, students, what we will get? We will get here v square by 2 is equal to x cube by 3. So from here v square is equal to 2x cube by 3. Okay. We have to calculate velocity at x is equal to 2 meter. Getting or not? So at x is equal to 2, one constant will also come from here. One constant will also come here. So it will be plus x. Okay. So v square is equal to 2x cube plus c. Now to calculate this value of constant, what information is given to it? Given to us that at x is equal to 0, body is at rest. Means at x is equal to 0, velocity is how much? 0. So what velocity square formula we got? Velocity square we got how much? It is a 2x cube by 3 plus c. So if we substitute to 0, 2x also it will be 0 divided by 3 plus c. From here c how much we are getting? Value of c we are getting as 0. Okay. Now we have to calculate what? Now our equation will become, so our equation will become v square is equal to 2x cube by 3. And we have to calculate velocity at time t. Velocity at x is equal to 2. At x is equal to 2. Yes? Yes, at x is equal to 2. So what? It will be v square is equal to 2 into, in place of x we will write 2 cube by 3. So v will be equal to under root of 8 by 3. Getting or not? Sorry, under root of 16 by 3. Means 2 by root 3 will be the correct answer. I hope you are getting this, students. So the only thing is here, this a is equal to what we wrote, v into dv by dx. This is very important. Rest and all is only the mathematics, how to integrate it and how to calculate the value of constant c. Okay. Next is, students, equations of motion, which we know very well. We have total 4 equations of motion. What? V is equal to u plus at, s is equal to ut plus 1 by 2 at square, v square is equal to u square plus 2as. So these are 3 basic equations of motion, but one more, if you want to calculate the distance covered by body in nth second, will be what? It will be u by 2, sorry, u plus, it will be what? u plus a by 2 into 2n minus 1. So this is the 4th equation, you can say. This we will only use to calculate distance covered by body in nth second. Distance covered by body in nth second. Okay, I hope you are getting this, students. But the most important thing which you have to remember is, these equations of motion everyone knows, but what you have to remember, these are only valid. These are only valid if acceleration is constant. If acceleration is constant, means whenever we have constant acceleration, then only we can use these 4 equations of motion. I hope you are getting this, students. Now the next concept is graph. Again I am telling, here we cannot solve each and every questions because we do not have that much time. So we will see only the important concepts based on equations of motion. You have already I hope you have already solved plenty of questions, because equations of motion we are studying from our foundation classes, class 8th, 9th. Getting or not? Now I am moving towards the graph. See, all the types of graphs we cannot cover here, but I will tell you how to read the graph. If you understand that how we can read any graph, then you will be able to answer any question. Getting or not? So this is, suppose displacement time graph is given to us, and the graph is like this. This is the graph which is given to us. Okay, now with graph, students, we should know the how to read the graph. From this graph we have to identify what kind of motion it is. So first of all, what we will do, we will calculate value of slope at any point. What we will calculate? Value of slope at any point on the curve. So how to calculate slope? Just draw tangent at that point. So here I am drawing a tangent. Okay, and this theta is the angle made by tangent from positive side of x-axis. So you can see here this theta is less than 90 degree. Okay, if theta is less than 90 degree, and another thing, students, if you see slope at any other point on this graph, so you can see here this theta is increasing. As the time increasing, this theta is also increasing. So theta is 90 degree as well as it is increasing. Now what is slope, students? What is slope? Slope is nothing but tan theta. Yes or no? If theta is less than 90 degrees, students, then theta, slope, tan theta will always be positive. Positive, as well as the value of theta increases, then tan theta will also increase, because tan theta is an increasing function. So it will also increase. Getting or not? First of all, in any graph, what we should check? Either its displacement time graph, or its velocity time graph, or its acceleration time graph. Whatever graph it is, first of all we should check the we should check theta. Okay, now what is slope, students? Slope of displacement time graph. Slope of displacement time graph is nothing, we know, it is velocity. So velocity is positive here and it is increasing. Now what do you mean by velocity positive? Do you think velocity positive means the displacement is positive? No, velocity positive means body is moving in positive direction. Getting or not? And velocity is increasing. Velocity is increasing means acceleration is not equal to 0, means it is not a uniform motion, it is a kind of accelerated motion. I hope you are getting this, students. Body is moving in positive direction and acceleration is not equal to 0. So like this, students, you can read any graph. Acha, here this body is started from the origin, so you can say body started from the origin. Body started from origin. Okay, students, so this you have to remember about the graph. About any type of graph, whatever type of graph is given to us, you can easily calculate its its type of motion. Okay, here let us say I will take another graph. Let us say this graph is given to us. Graph is this, and again it's a, let us say, displacement time curve. Okay, it is displacement time curve. So what we have to do, we have to read this graph, means we have to identify the motion, what kind of motion it is. So what we will do, again the same concept. First of all, we will calculate tangent, we will draw tangent at any point. So if we draw tangent at any point, students, graph is, let us say, this. If we draw tangent at any point, so tangent at this point will be, I think, this. Yes or no? And what is value of theta? Theta will be this. Getting or not? So here you can say theta is greater than 90 degree. Theta is greater than 90 degree. And theta is increasing or decreasing? If you calculate slope at this point, theta will be this. Getting or not? So theta is again increasing. Theta is greater than 90 degree and increasing. Now if theta is greater than 90 degrees, students, tan theta is negative, because in second quadrant tan theta is what? Negative and increasing. If tan theta is negative means, students, what? Tan theta is negative means slow velocity. Yeah, tan theta is negative means slope is negative. Slope is negative means what is slope of displacement time graph? Velocity is negative. Velocity is negative here. Velocity negative means body is moving in negative direction. Okay, but velocity it is increasing means it's a accelerated motion. It is what? It is a accelerated motion. So you can easily see here that if graph is in minus, it is minus s. So graph is in downward direction of x-axis, means what? Displacement is negative. But students, okay, this graph is easy, so you can easily read it. But in complex graph, if you follow these steps, then it will be very helpful for you to read the graph, to identify the kind of what kind of motion it is. Okay, now remember some short tricks, students. What are those short tricks? If the suppose if curve is upward opening, concave upward, if curve is concave upward, if curve is upward opening, I will write upward opening, then you can say it is acceleration. If curve is downward opening, if curve is downward opening, then it is deceleration, or you can say retardation. I hope you are getting this, students. Another thing, remember, whenever velocity and acceleration both are of same size, same sign, both are of same sign, then speed always increases. And if velocity and acceleration are of opposite sign, then speed decreases. So these are the some short trick which in question which are going to really help in question. Another thing, so remember here I am writing displacement, velocity and time, sorry, acceleration. Okay, or I'll tell you about directly graph. What students, remember this thing, whenever the area under displacement time graph, area under velocity time graph, area under velocity time graph, if you calculate it with sign, then it, what you will get? You will get displacement. If you are calculating this without sign, then you will get distance. Each and every concept we will solve numericals also. So just whatever I am telling you, just try to understand this here. Area under velocity time graph, with sign we will get displacement, without sign we will get what? Distance. Okay. In the same way, area under acceleration time graph, area under acceleration time graph, area under acceleration time graph, students, with sign what we will get? With sign we will get velocity, and without sign we will get speed. Okay, so remember this thing, students. This concept is very important. The question which I have for you is, a particle of unit mass undergoes one dimension motion such that its velocity varies according to Vx is equal to beta x to the power minus 2n, where beta and n are the constant and x is the position of particle. The acceleration of the particle as a function of x is given by. Okay, so they are asking what will be the acceleration of particle in terms of x. So velocity, how much is given to us? Velocity is beta x to the power minus 2n. Okay, and beta and n are the constant. Now we have to calculate acceleration. So students, acceleration is what? dv by dt. dv by dt. If you try to get value of acceleration with this, it is not possible. Why? Because you cannot, velocity is given to us in terms of distance x, but you cannot differentiate x with respect to t. You cannot differentiate x with respect to time. So this concept is not going to work here. Again, what value formula of acceleration we have to use here? A is equal to v into dv by dx. What we have to use? A is equal to v into dv by dx. Now if you use this, students, what velocity v is given? Beta into x to the power minus 2n into d by dx of beta into x to the power minus 2n. So if you solve this, students, how much you will get? Beta acceleration is equal to beta into x to the power minus 2n. Again I will write d by dt of beta into x to the power minus 2n. So how much you will get? Beta x to the power minus 2n into beta will come out, x minus 2n, and minus 2n will come in front, so x to the power minus 2n minus 1. I hope you are getting this. So into dx by yes, this will be the differentiation, getting or not? D by dx into dx by dx, so it will be 1. So how much it will be? It is minus 2n beta square x to the power minus 4n minus 1. This will be the correct answer for this question. I hope you are getting. So question was very easy. The only thing was, you should know this formula. If you don't know this, then you will not be able to solve this question. Students, next concept is motion under gravity. Now how you will solve questions based on motion under gravity? Remember this thing, first and very important thing for motion under gravity is sign convention. Now what is sign convention? If body is going upward, then distance or displacement always we will take positive. Velocity always we will take positive. Acceleration due to gravity we will take what? Negative. Remember this thing. Acceleration due to gravity always it will be negative. And time always it will be either body is moving upward or downward. Time to always will be positive. Getting or not? Time is always positive. Again I am repeating, if body is moving upward from the ground, suppose we have taken any reference point, and from that reference point if body is moving upward, or directly you take reference point as ground, if body is moving upward, then distance will be positive, velocity will be positive, acceleration due to gravity g will be negative, and time is always positive. In the same way, if body is moving downward, students, if body is moving downward, then displacement we will take negative, velocity also we will take negative. Getting? Acceleration due to gravity a, again we will take negative, and time we will take positive. So remember this thing, what? Time is always positive and acceleration due to gravity g is always negative. I hope you are getting. Acceleration due to gravity g is always negative. Why it is negative, students? Think, suppose we have a body. If this ball is moving upward, in which direction acceleration due to gravity g will act? G will act downward. And if the same body is moving downward, then again g will act downward. So acceleration due to gravity g is always in downward direction. That's why g is always negative. Okay. Next is velocity. Velocity upward positive, downward negative. Displacement upward positive, downward negative. Students, the same, this is the sign convention that we have to remember in case of motion under gravity. And what, again, the equations of motion we can modify here. V is equal to u plus at, second s is equal to ut plus half at square, third v square is equal to u square plus 2v square is equal to u square plus 2as, and this third mostly we will use. So this we can modify. In with these sign convention. Getting or not? Acha. Another thing, if body is moving under, if body is in motion of under gravity, if body is in the motion under gravity, then do you think acceleration is constant? No. As height increases, acceleration due to gravity g decreases. Getting or not? G is not constant. So how we can use these equations of motion? This is only valid when acceleration is constant. So remember this thing, students. When the height is small with respect to radius of earth, when height is small, then we can take g as also constant, and we can use these three equations of motion. Getting or not? So based on this, I have one question for you. What they are saying, a tap drops water drop at 1 second interval of time. So suppose here we have one tap. Okay, so it is drops at just 1 second interval of time. Find the distance between third and the fifth drop when sixth drop is just about to leave the tap. So let us say this is sixth drop. This is what it is, sixth drop. Okay, here we have this fifth drop. This will be the fifth drop. Here we will have fourth drop. and here somewhere we will have how much? It will be third drop. Okay, so students, I am saying like after how much time, the time taken by, you can say time in between third and sixth drop, yes or no? How much time they took, getting or not? When sixth drop is about to leave, up to that, how much time third drop took? So it will be 3 seconds. How much time it will be? It will be 3 seconds. Why? Because when third drop was leaving, after that, after 1 second, fourth drop will leave. Again after 1 second, fifth drop will leave. And then again after 1 second, sixth drop is just about to leave. Getting or not? So how much total time is there? Total time is 3 seconds. What we can do, students, we can calculate distance covered by third drop in 3 seconds. So distance covered by third drop in 3 seconds. How we can calculate the distance, students? S is equal to ut plus 1 by 2 at square. Now as distance is negative here, we don't know distance, let us say it is minus s, is equal to u, initial speed. So students, the tap is just the drop is leaving the tap, getting or not? So initial speed will be how much? It will be 0 into t, 0 into 3 plus 1 by 2. Acceleration is how much, students? Minus 9.8. So let us say approximately 10 into 3 square, because time is how much? 3. So from here you can say minus and minus will get cancelled, and value of s, how much you will get? 9 5s are 45 meter. Means this entire distance will be how much? It will be 45 meter. We have to calculate distance between third and the fifth drop. So we will delete fourth drop from here. Now students, how much time is taken by fifth drop to reach this position? This total time is 1 second. Getting or not? Because in every interval of second, one drop is leaving the tap. So it will be how much? It will be 1 second. When fifth drop left, sixth drop is just about to leave. So total time is 1 second. So we will calculate distance covered by fifth drop. Distance covered by fifth drop in 1 second. How we will calculate? Again, s is equal to ut plus 1 by 2 at square. So u is 0. Let us say it is again minus s into time is 1 plus 1 by 2. Again time will take, acceleration will take minus 10 into 1 square. So s will be how much? If you solve this, s will be how much? It will be 5 meter. Means you can see here, this distance is how much? This distance will be 5 meter. If this distance is 5 meter, then what is distance between fifth and third drop? Fifth and third drop will be how much? It will be 40 meter. So 40 meter is the correct answer, because total distance is 45. Out of that, this is 5. So remaining distance is how much? It will be 40 meter. Getting or not? Next question under motion of in the concept of motion under gravity, students, what we have? A balloon rises upward with the speed of 10 meter per second. When the balloon is at height of 100 meter above the ground, the stone is dropped from it. Find the time taken by stone to reach ground. Okay. So let us say here we have one balloon, and this is, you can say, the bucket of balloon, and this balloon is moving upward with the speed of how much? 10 meter per second. So try to understand the concept and not the drawing. Okay, so balloon rises upward with the speed of 10 meter per second when the balloon is at a height of 100 meter. So when this height is 100 meter, students, what? A stone is dropped from the balloon. Find the time taken by stone to reach the ground. So students, we will consider only the stone when balloon was moving upward. So with balloon, stone was also moving upward. Means initial velocity of the stone will be what? Initial velocity of stone will be 10 meter per second in upward direction. U is equal to 10 meter per second. Okay, so U is equal to 10 meter per second positive. Okay, time they are asking. Distance, how much? Total displacement, how much from here to here? The total displacement is 100, but it is in downward direction, so we will write minus 100 meters. What? Acceleration due to gravity is minus 9.8, so let us say minus 10 meter per second square. Time we can easily calculate by using second equation of motion. So what is second equation of motion? S is equal to ut plus 1 by 2 at square. I hope you are getting this, students. Now S is minus 100 is equal to U is how much? Plus 10 into T plus 1 by 2. A is how much? Minus 10 T square. So it will be, students, if you reshuffle this, we will get 5T square minus 10T minus 100 is equal to 0, or you can say T square minus 2T minus 20 is equal to 0. So like this you can solve this, and now you have this quadratic equation. If you solve this quadratic equation, you will get value of T. Getting or not? So like this, students, you can solve these types of questions. Questions are very easy. And here motion in one dimension is over. Now I'm going to cover motion in two dimension. Relative motion, relative velocity, relative displacement, that and all we will discuss after this. Now projectile motion. Projectile motion, students, remember this thing. Basically we have these four formulas. What are those formulas? First is horizontal range. What is horizontal range? So remember, suppose here we have this x-axis and here we have this y-axis. A particle is projected from origin. A particle is projected from origin with the velocity u at an angle of theta. With the velocity u at an angle of theta. Then what, students? Under the effect of gravity, this particle will follow this path. The particle will follow this path. The projectile will follow this path. And this horizontal distance, maximum horizontal distance, is called as range r. Okay. This will be the maximum height h max. And time of flight means how much time it took from point O to, let us say this is point P. Getting? From point O to point P, how much time it took. So this will be the time of flight. So students, what is horizontal range? Horizontal range is u square sine 2 theta by g. Formula, remember this thing. Horizontal range is what? U square sine 2 theta by g. Time t is equal to 2u sine theta by g. Here I am not going to derive this. Otherwise we can solve question without these formulas also. But because we have very less period of time, so directly we will go through with the formulas. Height is what? U square sine square theta by 2g. And this is equation of trajectory. This is very important. Equation of trajectory means, students, what? So this is the path, this dotted path which I have drawn here. I will draw with different color. Let us say this is the path which a projectile will follow. Getting or not? So what is the equation? What is equation of this path? Equation of this path will be y is equal to x tan theta minus gx square divided by 2 u square cos square theta. Now what is y and x here? Y and x are the coordinates of any point on this path. Getting? So this equation will satisfy all the points on this path. Getting or not? Students, one more thing. Remember this thing. These formulas are valid only when the projectile is, we are throwing projectile from ground to ground. Getting or not? So this we will use formula when projectile is thrown ground to ground. When projectile is thrown where? From ground to ground. Okay. So how we can solve this conceptually? Remember this thing, I will tell you here. Let us say this is our coordinate axis, x and y axis. So this is x and this is y. Okay. Now students, we are throwing a projectile at an angle of theta with the speed v, with the speed initial speed u, and due to which the projectile will follow a different path. So the path will be this. This is the path followed by the projectile. It's the angle of projection is, let us say, theta. Okay. So this velocity, initial velocity, students, it can have two components. Horizontal component will become u cos theta, and the vertical component will be what? U sin theta. I hope you are getting this. It is nothing but resolution of vector. Okay. So students, think why this projectile is not moving along this straight line. Projectile is not moving along this straight line because gravity is pulling this projectile again down. Projectile means the particle which we are throwing. So gravity is again pulling the particle down. Getting or not? Due to which this is the path followed by the particle. Getting or not? Now if you try to understand, is there any force which is acting on the particle in horizontal direction? No. In the entire motion, there is no force which is acting on the particle in horizontal direction. So you can say that the horizontal velocity of the particle will always constant in the entire motion. It will be how much at every instant. If you calculate its horizontal horizontal velocity will be what? It will be u cos theta only. But u sin theta will change, students. What will be value of u sin theta? Because gravity is pulling the particle downward. So when the particle is projecting upwards, when the particle is moving upward, in that case its velocity will continuously decrease. And as again when particle will start to move downwards, then its velocity will increase. Getting or not? So here this velocity, this will decrease slowly, and here this velocity, y component of velocity will be how much? 0. And here again it will start to increase. I hope you are getting this. The only conclusion is what? The horizontal component of initial velocity will never change in the entire motion. Okay, students, based on this projectile motion, we have some important conclusions, some important short tricks that you have to remember. The first question which I have for you is basic direct formula based question. Two particles are projected from the same point with the same speed u such that they have same range r but different maximum height h1 and h2. Which of the following is correct? So remember this thing, students. Here I am going to give you a conclusion, a short trick. What? Whenever projectile is projected from the same point, whenever projectile is projected, two different projectiles are two different particles are projected from the same point with the same speed u, initial speed by which we are throwing the particle is also same. They have same range r, but height is maximum. So remember this thing, students. What? In this case, the angle of projection will be complementary. Remember this thing. This point is very important. Suppose this is you can say particle number 1, path of particle number 1, and this is path of particle number 2. This is path of particle number 2. Okay, now what? Their initial speed is same. This particle is also thrown with the speed u. This particle is also thrown with the speed u. Their range is same. Range is also same, and both the particles are thrown from the same point. Then what? Their angle of projections will always be, the angle of projection will always be complementary. Means if first angle of projection is theta, then a second angle of projection will be how much? 90 minus theta. First of all, students, will calculate range. A range formula already I told you. What is range? U square sine 2 theta by g. So range I will write u square sine 2 theta divided by g, which you can write as u square 2 sine theta cos theta divided by g. I hope you are getting. Let us say this is our equation number 1. Now we will calculate h1 and h2. h1 and h2 is nothing but maximum height. Getting or not? Let us say this is h1. This is h1 and this is what? This will be h2. So h1 and h2 are maximum height. So what is h1, student? Maximum height formula also I told you. What? U square sine square theta by 2g. So u square sine square theta divided by 2g. Okay, and what is h2? h2 will be u square sine 90 minus theta, because angle of projection for second will be 90 minus theta divided by 2g, which will be equal to u square cos square theta divided by 2g. Students, if you calculate product of h1 and h2, it will be u square sine square theta divided by 2g into u square cos square theta divided by 2g. So this you can write as u square sine theta, u square, or you can write u square sine square theta, u square sine theta cos theta divided by 2g whole square, divided by 2g whole square. Okay, students, so it will become u square sine square theta. So what is this u square sine theta cos theta divided by 2g? Students, if you multiply 2 upward in the numerator and denominator, so it will become 2u square sine theta cos theta by g, and this is nothing but u square sine 2 theta cos theta 2 sine theta cos theta by g is what? Is r. Getting or not? So this will become, so here I'll write it again. It's, so this r is how much? R is, again I am writing u square sine 2 theta by g, means 2 2 sin theta cos theta u square by g. Getting? And h1 is what? H1 formula what we saw? U square sin square theta by 2g. H1 is u square sin square theta by 2g. H2 which we are getting u square cos square theta by 2g. How? If we will write value of theta as 90 minus theta. If you multiply h1 and h2 students, how much you will get? U to the power 4 sin square theta cos square theta divided by 4g square. Getting or not? Now if you multiply 2 in the numerator and denominator, what is this? This is nothing. What is this? This is nothing but r square. Getting? Not 2, you have to multiply it by 4. Getting? So 4 if you multiply here, so this will be r square. This complete will be what? This complete will be r square. This is r square. Getting or not? So it will be r square by 16. So h1 h2 is equal to r square by 16. So from here r square is equal to 16 h1 h2 will be the correct answer. You can see which option is correct. Option B will be the correct answer. 16 h1 and h2. Okay. I hope you are getting this, students. The next question which I have for you is, a ball projected from the ground at an angle of 45 degrees just clears a wall in front of it. So from here, let us say we are throwing a ball at an angle of 45 degree with the speed u. At what speed we are throwing? With the speed u at an angle of 45 degree. Just clears a wall in front of it. So this ball is just clearing the wall. So this is, let us say, project path of the ball, and here we have a wall. This wall is just clearing. This ball is just clearing the wall. Okay. Strikes if the point of projection is 4 meter from the foot of wall. So from the foot of wall is how much? 4 meter, and the ball strikes the ground at a distance of 6 meter on the other side of wall. So this distance is how much? It is actually 6 meter. Okay. The height of the wall will be, what will be height of the wall? So height of wall they are asking in this question, students. It's very easy. First of all, if you see this, what is given to us? Range is given to us in this question. How much it will be? 10 meter. This 4 plus 6. And what is formula of range, students? Formula of range is u square sin 2 theta by g is equal to 10 meter. I hope you are getting. Now theta how much is given? Theta is 45 degree. So it will be u square sin 2 into 45 is equal to 10 into g. Let us say value of g is also 10. So it will be 10. And sin 2 into 45 is sin 90. Value of sin 90 is how much? It is 1. So u square is equal to 100, and from here you can write as how much? 10. U is how much we are getting? 10. So initial velocity by which we are throwing the particle, we got how much? 10 meter per second. Now the question was, we have to calculate height of the wall. What we have to calculate? Height of the wall. So students, if I ask you, can you tell me what is coordinates of this point? See, this horizontal component of this point will be what? It will be 4, because this distance is given to us 4. And what will be vertical component? Let us say this is y. Height of the wall is how much? Y. So let us say 4 comma y. Now equation of trajectory we have studied. Y is equal to x tan theta minus g x square divided by 2 u square cos square theta. Yes or no? You can. I already told you what. Y is equal to x tan theta minus g x square divided by 2 u square cos square theta. So this was the equation. Okay. Now in this, what is x and y? I told you x and y are the coordinates of any point. Getting? So we will write y, we don't know, but x coordinate of that point we got how much? X, y 4. So 4, 10. Angle of projection is 45 minus g. Let us say g is 10 into x. X is how much? 4 square divided by 2. U, initial velocity we have calculated, u square into cos square 45. Cos square 45. So if you solve this, students, will get 4 into 1 minus 10 into 4 4 is 16 divided by what? 2 into 100 into cos 45 is what? 1 by root 2, and square of that will be 1 by 2. 2 and 2 will get cancelled. 10 and this will get cancelled. So it will be 4 minus 1.6, and 4 minus 1.6 is how much? It is 2.4. I hope you are getting this, students. If you have any doubt, you please ask. The next question which I have for you is what? A boy can throw a stone up to a maximum height of 10 meter. What they are saying, a boy can throw a stone up to a height up to a maximum height of 10 meter. So think students, when the boy can throw stone up to maximum height of 10 meter, if he is throwing stone vertically upward, getting or not? So this height is given as 10 meter, getting or not? And final velocity will be how much? 0. Initial velocity will be, we don't know. Initial velocity we don't know. And acceleration due to gravity will be how much? It will be minus g, because already I told you, getting or not? So we will use second equation of motion, s is equal to ut plus half at square, getting or not? So s is how much? It is minus 10 is equal to u, we don't know. Acha, time also we don't know. Then we will use third equation of motion, v square is equal to u square plus 2s. V square is equal to u square plus 2as. So v is how much? 0 is equal to u is how much, students? U we don't know, square plus 2. Acceleration is how much? Minus 10, and displacement is plus 10. Getting? So u square will be 200 and u will be how much? 10 root 2. Under root of 200 is how much? 10 root 2. Means the boy can throw the stone with the maximum speed of 10 root 2. Okay. The maximum horizontal distance that the boy can throw the same stone up to will be. So up to what will be the maximum horizontal distance the stone will cover when boy will throw the same stone with the same speed, getting or not? So remember this thing, students. Range will be maximum. The you can say the concept, the trick, the conclusion which I want to give with this question is the range will be maximum. Range will be maximum if angle of projection theta is how much? 45 degree, getting or not? So R max formula is what? Our range formula is what? U square sine 2 theta divided by g, and R max, for R max theta 2 whole square sine 90 is 1 divided by g. So 10 root 2 whole square is how much? 100 into 200 divided by 10. So it will be how much? 20 meter, getting or not? So range maximum will be how much? It will be 20 meter. I hope you are getting this, students. Now the last numerical which I have for you is from the projectile motion. A particle is projected horizontally from the top of a 20 meter high tower with the velocity of 30 meter per second. Find the time taken by projectile particle to reach the ground. Okay. So we have a tower, we have a building, and you can say a particle is projected from the top of a tower. So from here, you can say from here we are throwing from this height of this building is how much? 20 meter. Okay. And from here, students, we are throwing the projectile horizontally. A projectile is projected horizontally. So from here we are throwing a particle horizontally with the speed of how much? 30 meter per second. So students, because of gravity, this particle will follow this path. Getting? You have to calculate, find the time taken by particle to reach ground. Okay, we will calculate calculate this. Let us say this, students, this is the range how we are representing sx, displacement in x direction. Okay, we have to calculate time taken by particle to reach the ground. So first of all, let us say we are considering motion under y direction, motion in y direction. So students, for motion in y direction, what is displacement in y direction? Displacement in y direction is minus 20 meter. Why? Because the particle is moving down. Okay. Acceleration in y direction is minus 10. Getting or not? Achha, initial velocity in y direction is how much? Initial velocity in y direction is 0 because we are throwing projectile along the x-axis horizontally. Getting or not? Time we have to calculate. So we will calculate how we can calculate time, because we can use s is equal to ut plus half at square, ut plus 1 by 2 at square. Getting? Now s is how much? Minus 20 is equal to u is 0 plus 1 by 2. A is how much, students? A is minus 10 into t square. Getting or not? So if you solve this further, so what we will get? 22s are 40 minus 40 divided by 10 is equal to t square minus t square. Minus 40 divided by minus 10 is equal to t square. So t will be equal to 2. Time, how much it will take? 2 seconds. Students, in the same question, if suppose they will ask what will be sx, horizontal range. Getting or not? So how to calculate horizontal range? Horizontal range. Students, initial velocity in x direction is how much? It is 30 meter per second given to us. How much it is given to us? 30 meter per second. Acceleration in horizontal direction is how much? Acceleration in horizontal direction is 0, because acceleration is there only because of gravity, which is in y direction. Okay. Now time taken by particle will be same 2 seconds which we had already calculated. We have to calculate only the displacement s. So how we can calculate? We can use s is equal to ut plus 1 by 2 at square. S we have to calculate. U is how much? 30. Time is how much? 2 plus 1 by 2. A is 0 in x direction into 3 square, 2 square. Getting or not? So how much we will get? We will get displacement as 60 meters. So 60 meter will be the correct answer for this question. Okay, the correct answer was 2 meter per second, which the 2 second which they asked. But if suppose if in question they asked what is the horizontal range, so it will be 60 meter. Students, in this they can ask one more type of question. What? One more question. What? Suppose if this projectile is thrown at this angle, 30 meter per second, okay, with the speed 30, okay, then how to solve this question? What we will do, same question will be solved by the same math way. The only thing is initial and horizontal velocity will change. It will become 30 cos 30 and vertical velocity will become 30 sin 30. Okay, so only this values will change, except that everything will be same in this question. Okay, so students, here I am going to end this session. You please practice numericals as much as possible. We have covered most of the concepts of 1 dimension and 2 dimension. Thank you very much. If you have any doubts, you please ask. Thank you very much, students.